Welcome back to Africa 54. Ethiopia has one of the highest maternal mortality rates in the world, where 1 in 27 women die during childbirth. To address that problem, maternity waiting homes have opened in parts of Ethiopia to encourage more women who live in remote areas to deliver at a health facility where they can receive the services and newborn care they need. VOA's Julie Tabo has more.
Mezgebe Waini is recovering at a maternity waiting home in Ethiopia's northern Tigray region. The 19-year-old recently lost her baby after a prolonged labor and had to undergo surgery. She's here because it's close to her home and makes it easier for skilled health workers to monitor her progress.
I would have lost my life if I attempted to deliver at home, and if I didn't receive the necessary treatment and care at the hospital. My house is about an hour drive from here by car.
To help improve maternal and childcare health in remote areas, Ethiopia's government and the international development charity Voluntary Service Overseas set up about 20 maternity waiting homes around the country, where pregnant women, especially those at high risk, can have access to proper health care. This is the Mulu Esefa Hospital.
This maternity waiting home is essential for this area because we have people living in very remote areas who could be in labor outside the mobile telephone network coverage or difficult to reach by ambulance. So we thought it would be safer for them to stay here up to a week before their anticipated day of delivery.
A decade ago, the Ethiopian government hired 30,000 basic health workers to provide preventive and curative healthcare services across the country. But for the more than 85% of Ethiopians who live in rural areas, the nearest health clinic can be hundreds of kilometers away. Most Ethiopian women still deliver at home, with 57% helped by a relative and 28% by a traditional birth attendant. But more women are learning about the risks associated with childbirth. Although pregnancy-related deaths have fallen in recent years, the country still has some of the highest maternal and neonatal death rates in the world. 30% of deaths among women aged 15 to 49 are due to pregnancy and childbirth.
We focused in this area because it's located in the border of Afar. So these people are nomads. They are walking around. They are not settled in one place. And this hospital is serving 1 million population. So if we set a maternity waiting home here, it serves not only the population in the ASP area, it also serves in the community coming from the other regions like Afar.
There are plans to expand the maternity waiting homes program in the near future to accommodate more pregnant women and to bring skilled prenatal and postnatal care in remote regions. Julie Tabo, VOA News.
South Korean peacekeepers in South Sudan are helping youths gain some useful skills with which they can make a living. In the town of Bor, United Nations peacekeepers are providing a vocational training program in baking.
These hands could pass for those of a skilled baker, but barely a year ago, 25-year-old Monica Awalith knew little or nothing about baking. Now her baking skills are sharper, thanks to a 12-week hands-on baking course run by South Korean troops deployed to Bor town in South Sudan.
At first, I thought I was just to come here to pass my time, but I realized this my dream might be. So doing a lot of baking, with the new instructors coming, I gain more experience and a lot of information on how to bake.
She has been training on baking Swiss rolls, baguettes, brownies, bread and donuts, among other confectionaries, and now there's a reason to smile.
When I cooked, and most of my customers, they say, what you are cooking is so tasteful. It makes me more excited, and I will even be proud to tell them that I'm the one doing it. So that makes me happy, and I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing.
Monica is among 5 other students perfecting their skills on an extended bakery training program at this vocational training center. The tutor at the bakery class is 22-year-old Gu Janun, who is also a student in global Korean cuisine back home. Little did he know that he will be sent to serve as a peacekeeper in conflict-afflicted South Sudan when he was enlisted in the military.
I was very worried at the beginning because these students were new to bakery and baking. But I have noticed that all these students are very committed to baking here at the class. And also they are fast learners and they follow along very well.
Korean peacekeepers have been serving in South Sudan as engineers since 2013 and have been running this vocational training center aimed at developing self-sustaining basic skills amongst the youth since April 2016. For beneficiaries like Monica, both the bakery and life skills she has learned has changed her life in many ways.
We are so happy that most of the men are coming to our class now, and in our traditions, it is against our culture for a man to cook, but now they're changing. Like now we have one guy with us, two actually. So, and also it's bring unity because we have different people from different states, and especially some are from POC and the one from Botown. So it's kind of unity. We try to learn from each other.
For many South Sudanese youth like Monica, the protracted conflict in South Sudan dealt a heavy dent on their morale, their hopes and dreams. But with this newfound appreciation for baking skills obtained at this training center, Monica believes that nothing will stop her from achieving her dream of becoming an entrepreneur.
Now, for the millions of first-generation immigrants in the United States whose native languages aren't common on the streets of New York or any other U.S. community, staying connected to local news and culture can be challenging. But across diaspora communities, Call to Listen radio programming is designed to fill this need and offer a respite for day-to-day hardships. As immigrants, including the undocumented, VOA's Ramon Taylor has this report from New York.
Every Wednesday evening at 9, Boubacar Ba settles into his Midtown Manhattan studio and begins his broadcast, Radio Mali USA, a call-to-listen radio show by Malians, for Malians, abroad.
My show, sometimes it goes to 3 hours because the cab drivers, they don't want it to end.
Ba is one of 7,000 global broadcasters across more than 150 countries affiliated with Zeno Media. Zeno Media is a streaming platform that offers diaspora populations the opportunity to connect to news of their homeland in their local languages using either an app or by dialing a local number. Its founder and president says the idea was conceived for first-generation immigrants working in solitary professions.
If I was a security guard in a building and I didn't have that much human interaction, I was thinking, what can I provide to this person to entertain them or to make their day better? I thought to myself, if I was doing this, I would be very, very lonely.
Since becoming a broadcaster in 2009, Boubacar Ba says news of his home country is the first priority for listeners. Second are U.S. immigration issues. Ever since President Trump enacted immigration policies such as the travel ban, Ba says there has been a spike in interest about the topic, particularly among undocumented listeners. Sometimes he brings in lawyers or other specialists to talk, but offers his own advice too.
Mainly, try to stay underground. That's the main advice we tell those who don't have, papers. Don't expose yourself too much. Try to focus on what you're doing. Try to avoid illegal stuff.
Without a local station like Ba's, which broadcasts in Fulani and Bambara, many immigrants living in the U.S. might not otherwise have an outlet. In an interview via Skype, Ghana-based host Joseph Quencier describes some of what he hears from his diaspora audience in the U.S.
People see the Trump administration as like they hate people who are coming to settle in the country, and then they are going to make their lives more difficult for them in the United States.
And as Quencier and Bob both note, their programs allow listeners to pull back from all the noise and maintain an element of home, culturally, musically, and politically, no matter where they are. Ramon Taylor, VOA News, New York.
And that's our show for today. You can also visit us online at voaafrica.com. Amestig Yuat in Washington. Chamberlain Uso has our last word from Lagos.
We look forward to bringing you another show next week. ChannelsTV.com is your source for news, sports, and other programming. I'm Chamberlain, so thank you for watching. Goodbye.